So, questions and not requests. Yeah, yeah. 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 It's the easiest bit you can have. So the mullet mouth is the go-to soft because it's, you know, well, the go for her, you would also start with the mullet mouth. But the only thing is that the mullet mouth, not that good. But horse can kill her. And it's like what to give it a middle, that would be the next step from there. But the straight mouthpiece is actually really useful. I really like any straight mouthpiece. You don't need a shank. You don't need a shank. You don't want a shank, you don't have a shank. So that would be, to some degree, we go to the Travis, I started with mullet mouth. Because that's my starter bit that I have. But I tend to go to curves very quickly afterwards and get used to that. And I can handle it. But mullet mouth is nothing wrong with it. And in particular, the main thing is to your horse. So if that's what your horse said, then your horse is right. Does that make sense? So, that's what I say. Yeah. So, double link snap was not necessarily kind of. In fact, the mullet mouth, in some degree, would sound like a kinder option, but it's not necessarily anyway. So it's just whatever they work for, they don't creep behind and they keep it right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. For instance, one of the things with rubber is that sewing is out of the question. Well, it's out of the question, but sewing is definitely out of the question because that gives you a friction. And that can be actually quite harsh with rubber. But you wouldn't do that, so it doesn't have an issue. Does that make sense? Okay, let's move that over. Pull it in. So that the back of the saddle. As if you start off again, trying to be careful. Try to be careful like this. And then bring yourself forward into your stomach. Because that gives her, yes. And that makes a difference in her loin. And again, we have a little head bob. You move the wither over, move the front of the saddle over to the inside until the head bob goes away. And again, base of the neck comes in, outside leg comes back. You feel that little jolt behind you? Yes. Oh, when she's strung out. Yeah? So you need to give her a frame, but the frame does not come from her hand, from your hands. It comes from the seat, the body. Try to make the circle slightly smaller and try to grab her. You know that once she turned her knee the wrong way, she suddenly had a tension in her lower back and did this weird thing. Does that make sense? Yeah. I use it mostly for chewing exercises, like boucher and work. That's we got taught to do this. And sometimes we would switch just to do chewing exercises to snaffle. They taught the horse the chewing exercises and then switch back to the curve. So we use them. You know, it's just that I bias myself to it. I don't have that much issues with this the pole flexions because I mostly try to engage the pelvis directly with my seat and leg, especially my outside leg. And this is kind of what we're seeing here, but when you're trying to make a bit of flexion to the right in the right jaw, gently but deliberately. You feel what happens underneath you on the right there? But, exactly.
Yeah, but I feel like she's not pole flexing, she's driving in a shoulder.
Yeah, this is the thing, is that her pole moves, it flexes and that's it. Yeah? But you don't get the whole bend. So if you don't have the support on the outside of the bend, the pull flexion then exerts itself differently over the horse. So you can argue, well, then we don't call it a pull flexion, but the pull was flexed. Does that make sense? Yeah. So this is the thing. Like, there's a method to use the pole flexion. But if I do the pole flexion by itself, you get this rotation down. So you need that verwarende Außenschenkel, as Steinberg says, as the outside leg back, to support her up. Now what I can do is I can flex her pole with her inside ear coming towards me, or I can take the outside shoulder and get her outside ear stretching away from me. Yeah, and stretching away from me. Now I can use my inside hip fold. You know, the little knob there, the little nudge there, and then use your inside hip fold to lift the saddle of the shoulder blade. There we go. Yeah. There we have it. There we have it. You feel that? Now that now is just to solve this issue. But then eventually something you can use to get a horse into dressage. Does that make sense? So yeah, I don't use flexions that much. That's also because I have one-handed so much. So I need to use other aids, so I'm getting used to it. And like I say, I try to be honest about this. Yeah, I'm biased. Make sense? Let's change the rein. I would do travers if I can. And remember that because we're doing it on a circle, the outside shoulder is still, well, sort of in, the croup is further in. And then turn your belly button a bit and come up into the stomach. Yes. Now feel the inside wither, especially the rear of the wither. There we go. You feel? And then soften her to the bridle. You feel that? And that meant that you didn't need that inside rein out. Well, you could have done that. It could have worked. But with this horse in particular, I think this is easier. Yeah, does that make sense? Yeah, she's not actually tracking. This is actually a straight bend. So for croup in, you want more. Let's just go all the way. Let's go for four tracks. Let's go. The outside leg back, and then your inside hip needs to invite, but yes. So your seat bone goes ahead of yourself. There. Even more. There. Yeah, and there's this specific moment that her inside hind leg swings. You need to give her a direction there, and then she'll start listening to your outside calf more. Outside leg. I don't know what that. That's just something roll here. Outside back, and then your inside armpit should help your inside hip fold to send her inwards. Inwards. You know, because you're driving her forward with the inside calf, she ends up in shoulder in or leg move. Yeah, and then she also breaks out of the shoulder. So you can use the outside rein, and you can use your belly button turn, and it'll carry the saddle to the inside. So this is why I keep saying, you know, it's really about half fast. It just happens to be in a circle. Does that make sense? And then, yes. Notice that the head position immediately became better when you start controlling the shoulder. I feel the twist of the tail. Yeah. And then feel that step of her inside hind leg, more to the inside. Yeah, it's half a hoof. Yeah, but it's a start. Yeah, now the reason that we started doing this, first of all, that bob would go away, you feel like you're sitting on the sidewalk. Yeah, which you can do, or could do. This is how we want to make her sound. And then the other thing is that we want to make sure that you feel like she's listening to you, she's paying attention to you, and stuff like that. So when those things are given, it's tempted to have maybe the travers itself. The aids towards travers that already did the job. Now, if I want to do a travers for other reasons, I might have different amounts. There's not one ideal travers. There's not one ideal shoulder in. It is that bit that's called so to speak. That itches the judge, and we have a very shoulder. Yeah. That might be the case. Let's change the rein again. And the many changes of rein are really important to create that motion that the whole spine is yours with your hips. And notice that in that change of rein, you bring your chest forward a little bit. Now, if that would be a flying lead change, that would be an issue. Does that make sense? so your changes of bend should all kind of already be teaching the horse a flying lead change. It sounds a little bit. And then you feel coming up a bit there. There, you feel that the head position. And then when you lift your sternum, you want her sternum to go between your front legs to the front. You want to get her outside seat bone more under. And let's start playing around with that exercise that I was talking about earlier for the half pass. So we're going shoulder in through both corners, 3 steps of half pass, 3 steps of shoulder, 3 steps of half pass, and so forth. And we're going to really go for broke here. She might not do it, but we don't know it. We're going to try. Yeah, get through the corner, get to the other color bit. Yep, and then ready, turn your chest to look at the letter, and then half pass, and across and swing. Yes, 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 and then shoulder in, right thigh. Yeah, and then shoulder travers again, there, and half, there. There, lovely. Good, well done. And you got exactly where you're supposed to go because you did half the distance, which is half the time. It should be half the distance. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so you've got exactly the right, you know, the grip of that inside line that on the diagonal much than you did on the serve. That just because you're more used. Yeah, but normally it would be easier. Yeah, and just go for the half cross. Just go for it. Out the shoulder leading, yeah, and then a little bit more belly button turn to get the outer shoulder in front. Now let the wither come up here into the hip fold. There. Hip fold, hip fold. Hip fold, twist of the tail. There, hip fold, there we go. Sitting a bit crooked by the end. So as you push her more, you end up doing a bit of this. So you want to do much more of this. Now those transitions with the shoulder in make you back, which makes it actually look prettier. Really helpful young horse that you don't for yourself to make it big. Yeah? Yes, 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 lovely. You feel the difference? And notice her wither on the right. On the right, that's it. Up your right stomach. There we go. Okay, that'll do. I mean, technically we want more sideways, but it's a controlled good effort. Yeah? And you notice that you do this little bit of here, you're a little bit closed, and I think that making that wither not quite go away. It's better, but it's not gone. So you want to kind of open your stomach. I don't know what to call it. It's like a turn here.
So I'm doing this.
Yeah, and it should be there. Yes. Yeah, and your rib cage could be. You can kind of lift up in your rib. Okay, try that one more time on the right. Do you mind if I correct you? Wrist off, so yeah. Just get back. This is really important. This here. And as I already put it back a little bit. This needs to do more. Now these muscles, that's until you feel your forearms works on the right. You feel that? Yes. Notice that that makes the saddle more stable and makes it easier for the back of the wither to come up. And then you can come through your hip from your hamstring and your quadratus femoris, which is an external rotator of your hip joint. So give that a go. So that lift up is really important also in your pelvic floor on the into pelvic. Yes. Into pelvic floor. Yes. Every time into hind leg steps. Right armpit. Yes. Get a bit more out the leg back. There. Swing she goes. There. Nicely done. You felt that one particular stride?
Yes.
That's the one we were looking for.
Yeah.
You know that she also then immediately gives you a very different head position.
Yeah.
And that has a lot to do with this weird step that she does. And how it can go away from one moment to the next. And now, of course, if we just drove her forward faster, we might make that go away too. But I would like you to feel exactly how precisely you can make her carry herself and make it go away. I think that's more technically interesting.
It is.
Yeah, and also, this is more directly applicable to other horses. Now, I mean, I suppose you could use every horse forward to make it look better, but that's just making you blind. That's not solving an issue. Does it make sense? Okay. Through the corner, and we get the half pass to this side. Make it from there. Bring your chest and keep your hip ahead of yourself. That's it. There we go. Belly button, turn a bit more wither in. There. Notice that when the wither came inwards, yes, you got a better half pass. There we go. Good. Good effort. But this just seems easier on this side. Does that make sense? Now it looks nice and clean. Now we want more bits to meet the requirement that we have on the page. That might or might not matter to you. If this is a young horse, oh, pretty darn good work. Is that the first try? Yeah. If this is a horse that needs to do a competition tomorrow, it's not enough. Yes. Shoulder beating. Left to lead stomach muscle. Yes. Lift. Lift. Carry her. Carry her. That's it. The specific moment. Good. Moment when. Stop. So it's like engage and swing, engage and swing. And you go engage, engage, and you kind of leave her up to the swing, and you're kind of a bit passive there. And you can be clearer in the swing part. Does that make sense? and then she'll probably give you more reaction to your correctly timed leg ache. Does that make sense? Okay, give it another go. I'll try it to the left this time. This probably goes for many other exercises. Yeah, so the swing through your hip fold, and your hip fold has a direction to the left hand. Yep, there. Go sideways. Yep. And swing. That's it. And swing. Left stomach. Yes. Lovely. Good. Now what you see is that the engagement of the outside hind leg on both sides is actually really quite appreciable. It's quite a lot. So the leg does this very readily. Now we want the rest of the body to make a bit more of an effort. So push harder with a cup. You can only do some. Now we get block float. That's about if you're doing a half cross, you're stepping the outside hind leg across, and the inside hind leg is trying to just step ahead. Yeah. Once this no longer works and it starts trying to shuffle, we call it two sideways. And that's when we'll break out of the genuine exercise. Yeah, that's when if you really go sideways all the way, then it's not this crossing forward step. You lose this forward flow in the inside loin. That feeling. You feel? Now you can keep this going to an angle if you really go for it. 87 degrees. But you need to do this separately, where you go, I cross the outside hind leg and then I step forward, and I cross the outside hind leg and then step forward. So we're going to try and make these half crosses more and more sideways. And we keep our horse lined up as we should. We just don't go to the corner, we go to the middle of the arena or even further. But then you need to do this sequence to this. You cross the outside hind leg, step forward the inside hind leg. So you cross and forward, cross and forward. Yeah, just give it a go to make it really, really tight. And that means your shoulders need to come enough back for your hip to come forward to do that forward to reach of the inside hind leg. And the shoulders still are leading. Yep, the shoulders still are leading. Yep, and that forward step, that's it. Do that forward step, there we go. You feel that forward step? So your shoulders are back, but you need to make sure that your hip is more in the, yep, you get the middle of your hip, that's it. There we go. There we go. Good reward. Now, this was a bit, you know, it's looking for this. This. For you, we're doing the rest. That's what you usually get taught to do. And then when the horse can't manage, then it needs to learn. Does that make sense? Now, on a young horse, it's not obvious that you need to do the other half of the job. And you're half-busting a young horse. Can't do that. Yeah, because we leave them alone. Does that make sense? With a bit of practice, you could clean this up, of course. Practice makes perfect. But is that you're so clearly doing this, and you're sitting a little bit like that, which meant that you never really did this bit. Now, this is extremely common, because we don't do full trap anymore. Have you ever wondered why it's called half pass? Because it's half the pass. There's also full pass. There's three-quarter pass. Nobody does it anymore. They used to be really common. You know, you used to do squares where you would actually do this, and then a corner, and then you just go. You literally just do this. And they did millions of those. You do it from in, from out, one bend, another bend. Half the hook is that. But that means that you need to stop the horse from losing its forward. So what you would do, if you're doing one of those, the canter full sideways, you feel that the horse goes sideways and then it jumps into itself. And sideways and it jumps into itself. So you're constantly going hop, hop. So you're constantly limbo in that direction, whilst hopping to the side in that direction. So you're doing these two things that are side movements. Does that make sense? So this is a thing that actually belongs in the half pass. It's just not so pronounced. It's a little bit on the easy side. Does that make sense? And then we can start ignoring our job in our hip. And that's why you need to learn to do this thing with the hip joint. And this is also the direction of the hip joint. Yeah? And this is where, for instance, if you're a bit like this is going to be really difficult. If you're a bit more like this, it becomes easier like that. Does that make sense? Try that on the half part. And the shoulders of the horse are leaning. So the shoulders are crossing and stepping forward, and the hind legs are stopping, crossing and stepping forward. Feel the back of the saddle. You feel that? There, yes, yeah. Feel it up. There, yes. You notice this bob of her head comes back and goes away, come back and goes away. So when she's trying to hold herself, I think it's her trapeze muscle, to try and do it for you with her trapeze muscle, her head goes all over the place. The moment you can carry her from the bottom of her torso and extend that with her, that's the trapeze muscle. You carry her through, her head drops to the frame. Does that make sense? Yeah, so yes, carry, there. Getting there, yes. Feel the twist of the tail, there we go, yes. Well done, okay. Your hip joint turn could be a bit more pronounced, but it is pretty good. And so this external rotation could be more pronounced in here, and that probably just takes some gymnastics. People off of this, like for instance, being able to step like that, people can do it.
My hips are really loose, I think.
Yeah, good. Much better. You feel? Yeah, and now use your shoulder blade. Aha. Yeah, that's. Aha. Now. Aha. This is a coordination that I mentioned to people and they mostly can't do it. So now I'm just going to bend my knee so you can see it better. My knee is over my foot. I'm going to try and keep my knee over my foot. And I'm going to take my kaput femur and turn it over my knee. Yeah, that means that I need to use my tensor fascialis lateralis to stabilize my foot and knee here, whilst I turn my hip fold across it. And then you need a little bit of this. Yeah, the shoulder blade sticking out too much. And then you get this muscle here. There we go. You see the curve of this more. So let's go into a compound too. Does that make sense? Because you're using your biceps femoris, okay, but you're using your glutes femoris enough for that thing. This is a really useful skill. Keep your shoulders back, your stomach up. There we go. Yes. Now you're leaning a bit in your upper torso. Yeah, outside leg back. There. Feel the weight in your outside stirrup. There. Now the weight, and that's the weight in your outside stirrup. What I can do with the weight in my outside stirrup is I can do this. Yeah, or I can do this. Yeah, I meant the latter and I didn't say it. Does that make sense? Yes. You feel that? Stepping away from your outside. Yes. You know, then your leg aid is more actively accepted, but you also start accepting that in your inside hip fold. Does that make sense? Cool. Now, all that sideways stuff. Now, if you keep the horses going, all this still in the coordinating ourselves. Yeah, that or Dutch. Go to Holland and you're always on the track. The horse is steered by the wall. Yeah, so let's go into some. Let's do a half pass and go to a trot transition in the half pass. Yeah, and then this might go very clearly, very amazing, or probably very clearly show her issues. Yeah, so just feel your way through it to make her amazing. So the outside shoulder comes across, feel the inside wither come up, your inside piriformis invites it, and then outside leg to piriformis and hopping, up, trot, hop, flat. Left side. Good effort. Belly button turn, and then let's try it again. Trot. If she gives you the counter, just own it. Outside shoulder, inside piriformis. Notice that you're trying to hold it back too much with your inside leg. There we go. Your outside leg could be further back. Yeah. And then you notice that she trots. It was just one step. It was actually the second and the third, which was out of rhythm. Yes. You should just see this thing, and she was just briefly out of rhythm. Yeah. And she's just very dependent on the seat. Does that make sense? So try to keep the pelvic floor level with the horse. So when it's moving, yes, it's moving up and down, but it doesn't tip around. And then you want that levelness to all pull straight up your body. Yeah, and then invite there. hopla. No. Hopla, 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 hopla. You see? I absolutely adore. Yes, well done. Good decision to reward. Well done. The thing I absolutely adore doing transitions during half passes, because it just you know you can't hide anything anymore. You know, and which is really interesting. Yeah, up, nicely done. Yes, you're feeling something really important there. You were feeling your way into that. Yeah, you were starting to really try to get that connection. You want to velcro the saddle to the bottom of your seat bone and then pull it up. Yeah, up in your left stomach. Yeah, and hop, pelvic floor. Go, power. Hop, 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 and hold, and reward. Stop the shifting a little bit from under the saddle. Otherwise, you're doing really well. The back is something that's offset there a little bit. It's actually this really difficult. I'm sure we can get it. Right. Just walks. This sideways walking, by the way, you can see a lot of saddles. That's something that a lot of people really ignore because they just think of the saddle being crossed here and then in the back. I call it boat tailing, it's like this direction. When I think of a saddle shift, it shifts like this, and it quite often does that. That can be an absolutely massive deal with many horses. We just can't have to have it really fast. But otherwise, it's actually pretty good. She's not complaining, so let's just. I don't want to lose the time. I would like to canter it. You had a really nice hand position earlier, the unattended one, and we just want more of that kind of prettier still, like really, really lovely. So I would do myself, walk half fast, just a step or two, into walk pirouette, and walk pirouette into canter. If you can, into canter pirouette. Well, just do a walk pirouette. Make the most amazing walk pirouette ever. It looks like she can, huh?
I don't think she can.
Can she do it?
I'm sorry?
She can. It tends to make her not as comfortable.
Okay, well, the half
She'll give a couple good strides and then she loses it.
It's like a stride, right? And we can just canter her out of it once we get the canter. So it's getting sort of in the middle, so there's space around ourselves. Yeah, you get the shoulder leading, and you turn the shoulders of the horse around yourself, let the back of the saddle come up into your seat. Use your left pelvic floor. Outside leg more to up there. Then a step more to the inside with her inside hind. More to the inside. So this is better, but there, that's it. Exactly. You feel it feels way more stable? There we go. Yes. Now, okay, just hold briefly for a second. Now, this is the issue with the shifting. So you have the distance to the back, and you want to be up here, there.